Hello, it's Sparkles of Gold. How are you? Coming in to you from somewhere on the road with none of my usual studio equipment, the audio and visual that you're so used to seeing. And I haven't been around my socials for a couple of weeks now, and I thought I'd check in. Reason is, today, Jupiter, the huge planet that is Jupiter, is entered in the beautiful, deep, organic, earthy, abundant sign of Taurus, a sign that likes to slowly build things and also likes to enjoy things, the good things in life. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Rules our senses. Taurus, in an earthbound, deep way, lives through their senses and builds things through there and engages the world that way, gets their answers that way. So Jupiter, a planet that magnifies things, makes things bigger as they may appear at times. It also, on a deeper level, deals with a more philosophical way of looking at things and viewing a story and path as a quest. And so this quest in Taurus is for the next year. And Jupiter usually takes 1 year to go through each sign in the zodiac. Taurus rules, besides the senses and the things that we like to bring into our lives through resources and the creation of resources, which could be money, all different types of resources too. It all depends on where Taurus is in your chart. Jupiter there is pushing a story of wanting to go farther and seek more in that Taurus area of your chart. If it comes down to the basic things, you hear a lot of things about Taurus is about resources, money. There's going to be an expansion or a view or a different way of looking at it and trying to acquire resources. When it comes to a political world level here, we're dealing with food sources, how food is created. We're dealing with money in general, the exchange, how money is created, how resources are created. And Taurus likes to take its time and to build foundations very slowly, just as this earth sign tends to in a garden outside its house and plant something and tends to it, and along the way works towards taking care of that garden, and hopefully it harvests and produces resources, food, things that will take care of one's basic own subsistence, the basic needs in one's life. A lot of times, through what is harvested in the garden too, are beautiful grapes, things of pleasure, things that are reflective of what we value. And in the end, Taurus kind of deals with that too. The things that we work hard for, the things that we acquire for resource wise, and what we do with those resources, and then the benefits of them are a reflection of the value systems that we hold and that we carry. For instance, we work, we get a paycheck, we get paid, we take that, we pay the rent or the mortgage, or we purchase things that we need to survive. And then after that, if we have anything left, we buy things that make us feel good or that we want and need. And those things are reflective of our hard work and our value. So Jupiter here for the next year is going to bring a story into the Taurus part of your chart, where there's going to be a quest of wanting more in those areas. On a world level, this is huge because I think here, especially this month and a half here from I'm making this video here, 16th, 17th into June, is a very volatile period astrologically for the world. And the reason is, as soon as Jupiter entered Taurus today, it has created a square 90-degree relationship with Pluto and Aquarius, and this is a battle. This is a tension moment where something has to move or break, or something's going to get shifted. And so on a mundane level, we have Pluto that's been in the sign of Aquarius since March. It just went retrograde, and it's standing still now, definitely for the next month. And here comes Jupiter, and they're running through the stop sign at the same time and clashing with each other. So there's Jupiter wanting to show its new story in Taurus when dealing with resources and food sources and cryptocurrency and what resources mean in general on a mundane political level, and then in our own personal lives. And then you have Pluto in Aquarius that just started there and is holding on to power. It's holding on to something, and it still has remnants from the past of Pluto and Capricorn. Capricorn and Aquarius, both ruled by Saturn. There's an element of control here. And on a longer story, since Pluto is starting a 20-year story in Aquarius, it's just starting its control and understanding its power struggle in the sign of Aquarius. So right off the bat, as soon as Jupiter entered in today, we have this clash. And this clash is happening, in my mind, we're really going to see it from now until June. It's official here on Wednesday. And then this weekend on the 22nd, Mars in Leo is going to enter in another fixed sign, Leo, at 0 degrees. And we will have three major planets here that will be clashing and opposing each other, 180 degrees and 90 degrees away from each other. So I hope you enjoyed the past weekend that we just had that was filled with watery goodness of planets in water relating with Earth in a good way. But now we get into probably one of the most volatile months of the year. Next 30, 45 days of the year is now. And this energy of fixed energies, planets and fixed signs, wants to take something and then go forward with it. And it will kind of do it at all costs. I mean, once it's passionately locked in on what it's wanting to work towards, it will start and finish it in a tunnel vision type of way, in a deterministic type of way, because that's what fixed signs do. That's great. And then there's the other parts of it where it's unbalanced, you don't see anything else, and there's blind spots around. And so there's can be pushing through too hard, pushing things out of the way, knocking things over. Especially the bull of Taurus could do this. And so we have this initial class right off the bat. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. Jupiter and Taurus can be bad for everybody in your charts. It all depends on your chart, whether things flow for you or not. But inherently, we want the good things in life, and we want to acquire resources to take care of ourselves, and we want to enjoy the things that we produce in our metaphorical Taurus garden, and inherently share that abundance with the people that we value and love. But along the way is the struggle. It's just in this case, the story starts off with major struggle and clashing of power. Right now, the moon is in Aries here, and we're about to get in the Taurus moon tomorrow before the new moon in Taurus is going to happen here in a couple days too. So you could see the importance of the Taurus story this week and the tension that's involved. Also, Jupiter is close to the North Node in Taurus, which is connected to the South Node in Scorpio, which you have been watching my channel know that the eclipses have been happening there for the last year and a half. We just had a major one a couple weeks ago. And so there's a continuing story for all fixed signs of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and especially you Aquarius is out there with early degree stuff, Taurus too, and Scorpio, and Leo. Let's be all four, because Mars is coming into Leo here this weekend, and eventually Venus is going to be there in June. You could see that the fixed signs are not able to walk off the opera stage yet that they've been dealing with for the last 3 years. If you're a fixed sign, you have fixed rising planets and fixed signs, you're the one, we're all watching you. You're having it really play out into your life, the fundamental changes. And we've already had this eclipse 2 weeks ago, and now we have Jupiter coming into Taurus to magnify the story, along with the power struggle with Pluto. And then here comes Mars and Leo this week to bring Mars. Think about this: Mars on one side, Pluto on the other, and they're going to do this. And in the middle, 90 degrees away from them, is Jupiter, enhancing, magnifying that energy. So I want you to just take note of that. For me on the road, as someone who's got major fixed stuff in their chart, I'm not going to tell you details, but I've had major stuff happen to me within the last 10 days. And part of the reason why I'm not in front of my gear, I am making a Jupiter and Taurus video here that I'm going to try to publish here on Thursday or Friday. I'm going to just cover the basics of it, and then I'm going to just briefly talk about what it means for each rising sign. That's going to come here on Thursday or Friday. I'll do that one on the fly, and hopefully I'll be back in my studio for that. I know many of you are my subscribers, and some of you are like, who are you? This is like, what is this? And, but for those who've been following me, I just had certain things happen where I could not do what I usually do with my content and my social media. So I found a way to do this, and I just wanted to check in and say, hey, here we are with Jupiter and Taurus. Here we are with a new moon in Taurus this week, and a story, finally, by the way, that is getting set off here. We are not going back to the old world. What we've been wanting to change, or what we've been resistance to change, we've seen the visions of this the last 6 months. And here, with these transits happening now, this is where you have to make the moves now. This isn't just sitting back anymore. This is where almost one is forced to make certain decisions, and to take the consequences along with those decisions, and then keep going. The interesting thing about fixed signs is they will keep going. For better or worse, they'll keep going. So know that if you have something in the fixed parts of your chart, or the Taurus parts of your chart, that you've wanted to build and expand upon, well, here you go. Now you got a year story to do this. Is it can be completely easy? No. But it's for anyone who's fixed signs, or any Taurus will know, they know it's never easy, and they can roll with the punches because of how stubborn and rooted they are in their earthly ways. And they know that things that last, things that produce the bounty of one's vision, that it takes time, determination, and at times stubbornness, but a methodical, step-by-step process of tending to that story in that garden, and along the way finding the beautiful, enhanced, pleasurable moments in it all. That it's, yes, about the end goal of what is created, but as some people know who have been through processes like this, it's really along the way that you enjoy parts of the story, even with the blood, sweat, and tears of creating and toiling away at something while other people are having fun. There's a moment in between where you get to see the fruits and the benefits of your tending the garden, and it's along the way you get to share in those pleasures. And I'll end with this, with the word pleasure. Taurus likes to deal with pleasure, and the Venus sign rules sign that it is. I will say that that's something you should watch out for this week, is an overindulgence of that. And something here in the Taurus part of your chart for the rest of the year, that it's okay to be, enjoying the fruits of your labor and the pleasures that you've worked so hard for. But sometimes with a story like Jupiter and Taurus, is they'll go too far, too fast for themselves. Jupiter brings a story of like they think they've already had it done without finishing the work, and in those situations, one's already celebrating and indulging, overindulging at some points, and there's a crash and burn that happens. So you have to remember that with the planet Jupiter, it pushes and expands out and wants to acquire more and seek more. It's on a quest, but sometimes that quest gets sidetracked into the extra glass of whatever, the extra meal of this, the extra thing that was spent on what maybe you shouldn't have. And that's part of the story, is understanding how far one can go push out, and then when to contract. And that's the true story of how a Jupiter cycle works. And I'll talk more about this on my Jupiter and Taurus video later this week. Some of you have checked in on me, and I want to say I appreciate you. It's important here, and I'll end the video like this. You see me publicly. Some of you are clients. Some of you know me by watching my channel on my social media. Some of you know me personally. But if I were to say what this is for me personally, the one thing I will say that's very important right now, that I need to say to all of you and anyone watching who knows me, is that I have to have my sense of my world that's not on here, that's not with my clients, that's not whatever. I have to have my beautiful golden world that is not anybody else's. And that is a place and a boundary that needs to be respected. If I don't respect that, that means no one else will. So for me, I'm saying this, I have to keep things separate. And I know I'm outgoing, and I'm always genuinely honest with you all when I'm talking with you. And, I'm straight up, and I never want to lose that. But I still have to keep a big something for myself. And because if I don't do that, there is no more smiles. There is no more sparkles of gold. All right, y'all. I'll see you in a couple days with a video.